Well, hello everyone. I'm here in the Euro Parliament in Brussels. The normal week out here, trying to catch up with what's going on, getting more information, and obviously looking heavily into Brexit. One of the things that I think it's important that we understand in the UK is that our internal debate, our problems over Brexit are not just limited to our shores. People from outside of our country are taking a very keen interest in watching how things go with us. And with that in mind, I'd like to introduce you to a good friend of mine and a friend of our country, a gentleman called Peter Lundgren from the Sweden Democrats. And he's got some pretty strong views and some interesting insights on Brexit that I'd like to share with you today. So Peter, what's your view on how things are going?
Well, right now they are not going very good, I would say. It's quite a terrible deal you have on the table. Actually, I would prefer, from my perspective, that UK just crashed out of the cooperation with the European Union now, because you're pushed into a corner where you will have to pay a lot, you will have nothing to say, you will still have Brussels deciding over you, you will still have Brussels deciding over the fishery waters, and I mean, thing after thing will be really bad. And it's pretty much like hitting your toes in the table when you are passing by the sofa. Yeah. It will hurt for a while, crashing out, but it will eventually be a better thing. I think so.
So from your perspective, looking at the UK, you don't think we have anything to fear from a no-deal Brexit then?
No, not at all, because you're such a big economy. Everyone wants to trade with you. Even the socialist prime minister in Sweden, Stefan Löfven, made it very clear that after the British are gone from the parliament, it's very important that we, as soon as possible, will strike a deal with the UK to be able to cooperate with you in the future. You are too big of a market to lose. We cannot lose you, and that is the thing that will also be good for UK in the end. They can try to bully you from Brussels, they can try to decide over your head, but the rest of the world wants to trade with you, and that's a fact.
So I picked up a lot in this place that when I talk to people from different countries within Europe, they're watching very keenly as to how this goes on. Yeah. And I think one of the reasons the EU is coming so heavy at the UK is almost to make an example, to say to people that if you try to let your people have a say and you try to change things or even to escape from this union, we will come down so heavily on you that you'll regret it.
Yes, absolutely true. I agree with you, Bill, because the thing is, if they gave you a good deal, you could leave the house, you could still trade with them, but you didn't have to listen to them. Well, of course, other countries would be standing in line to take the same step. And of course, they are trying to do everything to prevent that. And that is why you are facing a hard time with the European Union right now. But you know, it's like in the early days when you were a kid, you went to the school and you had the gang bullying you in the school. Well, eventually, people grow up, and most of the people actually become decent people. So I'm actually hoping that the EU also will grow up and take a grown-up perspective in the discussions and realize that UK is a very valid country to all other countries in the European Union. All the other countries want to trade with the UK. So I don't see any risk. It will be a mess. Of course it will be. It's like breaking up from a long-time marriage. It will be a mess for a while, and you will feel some pain over it, but eventually it will be fine.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. You see, what we've got here is the perspective of one of our closest partners, one of the most significant countries in Europe, and they can see what's happening here. So when you hear in the news and the mainstream media saying that, people are looking at us and thinking, what are we doing? What on earth's wrong with us for leaving? Actually, I think there's a large degree of understanding within the EU and European countries of what we're trying to do and support. And even if people would rather we hadn't left, they will still be our friends afterwards. Our friendship will remain.
It will, definitely. What I see now happening in UK after the Brexit vote was a fact, that was quite terrible to see the socialist, Corbyn, how he started to deal with this from the Labour Party, where he is trying to make this into an election campaign and messing the complete discussion up, how to leave the country. And therefore you have been negotiating not like the United Kingdom, but the divided kingdom because the Labour Party simply wouldn't try to do the best possible deal for the country. Instead, they have doing everything all the time to divide the country. So that is a major problem as I see it, because every politician must realize that they are actually the spokesman for that country.
Yes.
And when your country decides via a vote like Brexit to leave the cooperation, then all politicians should have gone behind that. They should have been negotiating together as a united kingdom, not a divided one. And if they have done that from the beginning, you would be in a much better position today.
Yeah, I mean, this is real common sense coming at it from someone who can see from a distance about what's been happening. So the real message from this video and this conversation is to say that we have nothing to fear. We do have friends. We will not be left isolated, cast out into the darkness. You know, that is a nonsense, and that's being spread by the EU negotiators and people within our own country, fifth columnists, who are so keen to remain in the EU. They'll betray our national interest. And I think that's rung out loud and clear. So, Peter, I'll give you the last word on it, and then and we'll say goodbye to everyone watching this. But please, share this video around. Don't let Project Fear persuade anybody that we will lose our friends out here. It's nonsense. All that will happen is the relationship will change slightly, but our friends remain our friends.
Definitely, for sure. We will always be there as your friends, as your trading partners. We will still in the future have discussions with the UK. You're a much more important country to Sweden than many other countries are. We've always been allies, also here in the European Union, where the Swedish people and the British people has been cooperating together. And we will still be there. Me, for example, on a personal level, I love UK.
Yeah.
And I always go there. I was in the UK just last weekend visiting a military tattoo. Very nice. And you know what I love with the UK? You're proud people. You don't let anyone bully you. You never let anyone bully you. You were the one fighting for Europe during the World Wars. You were the one saving us from bad things happening. Without the Brits, Europe would be a completely different place to be in. So we will never abandon you in the exact way that you never abandoned us.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.